If you can't tell, this is Mike.
Yeah. Boom, it starts slipping out of my hand.
Yep.
I tried to catch it. I was like, fuck. All right, no big deal, dog. Okay, no biggie. All right.
You cannot zero this again.
Dude, when you yelled that, I was like, yeah, I know. So we hit it. We hit a nice little hitch, but I made sure to lock her out. And see, he gives me it. And then she's like, are you fucking... Dude, oh my God. I lost my shit.
Big bummer.
So...
What is going on, everybody? You are listening to the Built for War podcast. I am your host, Austin Trotter, accompanied by my co-host, Michael Musick.
What's up, Strength Freaks?
Today, we've got something special for you. It's another fucking Talking with the Bros.
Bro chat, bro. Another circle.
Before we get back into it, though, we do want to give our appreciation to you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, everything that you guys are doing. Dude, it's working.
It really is. I mean, just all the different people that we've been talking to, so it's bringing in new listeners and stuff, with all these new guests that we're having on. So we just appreciate it, guys, and appreciate the love and sharing and liking and subscribing and commenting. Like, I love that. So thank you, guys.
If you guys haven't checked out the website, make sure you guys go to builtforwarstrength.com. There you can find all of our apparel, accessories, our different athletes, competitions. You can obviously see the podcast, but you're already listening.
That's right, dude.
Or watching.
Ooh, with your eyes.
There as well, if you guys are interested in becoming an athlete, you can go put in an application to become an athlete. There we'll add your competition t-shirt, and any of the sales and the profits that come from that will go directly to you if you are an athlete.
That is correct.
So we got perks.
Perks. Cheat codes. But no, for real. So yeah, you guys throw in those applications. We're going to review them. But for our other athletes out there, keep an eye out for them. And help support, because the comp season is actually coming around pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so they're going to, in any kind of sales that they get and everything after the shirts a week, that goes into the fund, which will then help them with whatever it is that they need to help on their comp season. So make sure you guys check those out, and everything else on the website.
Yeah,
it is welcome to Raw Strength. Love that.
Love it. Yeah, I think that does it for us. Also, make sure that you're subscribed, because not only at 100 subscribers are we going to be doing a giveaway, but we have a special little series coming for you guys here very, very, very soon. One of our athletes is doing something really big, and we're going to showcase it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be super cool. So it's just that whole journey, and I think it's something, without giving it away, something that a lot of us inspire in this community to do. Mm-hmm. But no one's really, captured the journey, I guess, and everything else. So there'll be more information on that later, but super exciting. So it's gonna be really cool. And yeah, dude, we're only 6 subscribers away, so y'all better hurry up and get up in that pot, okay? Because, dude, who don't like free shit? Okay.
Yeah.
So
free is free.
Free is free.
Is free.
5-finger discount shit.
So today, I figured. We just competed not too long ago.
We did. We just competed a couple weeks ago, and we shot the last podcast, but we needed to wrap up some stuff. We did the Arnold recap. And and in the midst of that weekend prior, we competed at the Shamrock Showdown 3. 4. My bad.
IV means 4.
Bro, I really, truly am terrible with those. What is that called?
Roman numerals.
Roman numerals. I don't use them. I don't know shit about Roman numerals.
I only know shit leading up to 10, because it's I is obviously 1. There's only 3 of them. And
right.
Doing IV
is 4.
Is 4 because I is before, and then V is 5. And then if it's after that, that means it's on top of it, basically. So
I get it.
VI is 6.
Oh, no shit. And then 2 of them.
VII 7. VIII 8. And then I don't know from there. Actually.
I was gonna say, what would be the 9?
Would it be VI V?
Maybe it's VIP.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right?
Right. Well, now wouldn't that be 11? Because it's 5, 5, and 1. Wouldn't that be
No,
11?
because the I is before the last V.
The I before the E always crosses the C. And I feel like I'm in school right now.
Yeah, they don't ever teach any of this in
No.
school.
So when I see it, but people using it, it looks super cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know what the fuck that actually means. So,
Yeah.
so the Shamrock 4. But you could have said, like, the Shamrock Cuatro, and I would have known exactly what that meant.
I know how to speak. I know how to count pretty high in Spanish.
Seaway. So, but yeah, no, we actually went out and Austin ran his very first pro show, a 220 Pro. We'll get into that. And then again, if you guys remember, we were talking about this, and then I needed to place in the 220 class, at least the podiums, to get a 2024 national USS Nationals ticket. So
Yeah, and that was the whole goal for him doing this, just because Nationals is in Denver this year. Otherwise, Nationals for me, at least personally,
I wouldn't be doing it.
no, because
we had tickets last
USS
year.
Nationals. Yeah,
We had tickets last year,
Yep.
and it was in Texas, which isn't that far for us. And we were like, no.
yeah, and looking like on how that went, I'm thankful.
Glad. After seeing it, I was like, so glad I didn't spend all that money.
Yep.
So,
But this one is different.
Exactly.
It looks like it's gonna be a
Dude.
fucking show.
dude, like the venue they're using, sick.
So sick.
And then just Denver.
Fucking
and,
20
and
minutes
it's
from my
home.
house.
Oh, dude, to be able to compete at Nationals and still go home. Like,
Sleep in your own bed.
right. I mean, that's
And wake up and you like sometimes some people will leave like the day after Nationals.
Yeah.
And you wake up and you feel like shit because you competed all day yesterday.
Yep.
And then you wake up at you got to wake up at like 9 because you're getting kicked out at 10.
Exactly.
And
Yep. And then you either got to fucking wander around for a couple hours with an Uber or this because you got then go to the airport and then you hang out, or you just go to the airport and hang out at the airport all day.
Yep.
And that's all you do. And then you get home late as fuck, and usually you maybe home the next night and bam, you got to work the next morning. It's usually traveling.
that sounds miserable.
That's usually normal.
Because it is.
That's what it is. Yeah. But no, we're
No need to do that.
we don't have to do that. We get to go home. And, a biggest one is that, yes, it was here in Denver. And unless it was there's only been a couple shows that I've seen the list of events. And I'm like, absolutely not. Don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
Your Titan show that you did when you ended up into the heavyweights. I remember that show. I remember looking at the list of events for that. And I was like, absolutely not. No, don't want to do any of that.
Oh, that was
Like the truck pull and all that.
That was the
picture.
second Shamrock.
Yeah, was it the Shamrock? It is the Shamrock.
Sorry.
Yeah,
That was the third. That was last year's.
Okay, so it was that show where you did truck pull and all that shit. I remember just looking at the list of events. I was like, I don't want to do any of that. I was like,
No.
Yeah. So when Nationals came around, I was like, fuck, it's in Denver. I do want to do it, but I got super excited when we saw the list of events because it's super strong, man. And I was like, this is sick. I was going into the show, it was more like, dude, I'm going to be really mad. Not only is it because it's in Denver, like I want to compete in this show. Like I want to do this show. And but we'll get into the stories of it and everything.
This was my first 220 Pro debut, and it definitely didn't go as planned. So we'll just kind of go event by event and get into both his and mine.
Yeah, for sure. I like that.
So we're going to start out with the fucking...
I'll start first.
Yeah.
So,
we're going to start out with that fucking bug that jumped up, bit him in the ass.
Got me. So, so in this 5 event series of the day, they started off with a max deadlift. Now, this wasn't rising bar. This is Wessel's rules. So that means, which is cool, I love that, is it goes by position and you pick your weight. So that means you do your openers when you go to weigh in, and after that, it's a chess game. And after 3 lifts, whoever's got the most weight wins, gets the most points. If you miss a lift, you are done. You are out. So that means you can go up on the bar goes down, whatever. So you get a nice break in between, which is really nice. Because normally if it's a rising bar and you're like pushing your max, it's like you're technically going to pull and then pull and then pull. Where like Wessel rules, it's like even if you're going to jump 5 pounds, you get to wait for everybody else to go again until it's your turn.
Yep.
So you get a bigger break. So which usually will lead to bigger PRs because you get that break. going into this event, I was super confident in my abilities to win this event. And, and that was the thing is like going into this competition, I had the mindset of, I was super prepared for it and, just out of good practice being ready for a show. I never underestimate my opponents, but I was really expecting this day to go like to plan, pretty easy, not having to fucking flip any massive switches and freak out and everything else, and just kind of coast. And I wanted to be there for the 220 pro class because it was a super stacked class, and he'll get into that side of it. And
I'll definitely say that the 220 pro class there's obviously a few people that are left out by me saying this. The 220 pro class was hands down the strongest fucking guys in Colorado.
Oh, for sure. It was like the best 220s like around. So that's what I mean. It was a stacked class. It was a good class.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean. That's what I wanted to do. And so anyway, so you go in like, in your weigh-ins. And I actually was in my head was like, okay, I'm going to do an opener at 635. And then I know I'm comfortable for 660. And then if I have to pull heavier, then like we're going to go for a PR. And when I went in for weigh-ins, they let me see the list because I was like the last person I did that night or whatever. And I noticed that the heaviest opener was 585. And I was like, okay. And, I've noticed over my years that there's people that can pull 6 plates, 585, but breaking from 585 to over 600 pounds is a big jump. Even though but you're hitting that area where like 10, 20 pounds is a big fucking deal. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, let's play it safe, 605. I was like, I know I can hit that, no big deal. And that would be dope if I could just pull one pull and just be done with it. And I don't have to do anything else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my game plan. And we go out, everybody pulled it. And the guys that did pull 585, he pulled it pretty clean, but I could see it. I was like 605 is going to be a bitch for him. And I was like, so I'm just going to pull my first one and then we're going to go from there. Went out there, fucking pulled it, felt good. For some reason, we're in warm-ups, me and Austin, we're together, we're warming up, I'm using the same straps. Had no problems. Everything felt normal. I go out there, pull the first pull, and I remember as soon as I hit lockout, I just feel the bar roll off of my, like, it's rolling out of my hands completely. Like my thumbs aren't touching it and everything else. And, that's one of the things that they really look for is fingertipping. And immediately, so I did like this little knee bend a little bit and I'm staring at the judge and fucking, and I wasn't pissed, but sure shit. Like it was rolling out of my hands. So I kind of tried to catch it in like a hitch in a sense. And then I was like, fuck that. And I dropped it. And, I was like, no, it's cool. I was like, no lift, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then so I strap up, fucking rip it again. And literally as I am locking this thing out,
they call time.
They say time. And so the judge gives me the down call, but then the person who's doing the timer looks at him and goes, no, that's a no lift. And I like, dude, I have this thing in my hands and I just remember I'm like, did you just say that's a no lift? And dude, I was fucking livid. And but sure shit, dude.
Did you take it down?
What? No, it's right there. What did I take down?
Oh, duh, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is it, right? So if you guys are a follower of mine, check out my Instagram. You guys will see it on there. I have it posted up there. And, you can hear it right now.
If you can't tell, this is Mike.
Yeah. Boom, it starts slipping out of my hand.
Yep.
I tried to catch it. I was like, fuck. All right, no big deal, dog. Okay, no biggie. All right.
You cannot zero this again.
Dude, when you yelled that, I was like, yeah, I know. So we hit it. We hit a nice little hitch, but I made sure to lock her out. And see, he gives me it. And then she's like, are you fucking... Dude, oh my God. I lost my shit.
Big bummer.
So...
This podcast is sponsored by Cerberus Strength USA. Make sure that you guys go to cerberus-strength.us for all of your Cerberus needs.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the absolute best. They're coming up in the game. They're owning the game. Cerberus Strength is the best quality product you can possibly wear.
I mean, I tell you what, whenever I think of strongman or powerlifting nowadays, I think of Cerberus.
Dude, I think about Cerberus every day.
I mean, because I wear Cerberus every day.
It looks super sick.
It does. Make sure that if you guys want any of the gear, the equipment, accessories, apparels, they're even coming out with supplements now.
Absolutely.
Make sure that you guys go check out Cerberus Strength.
For real. They're literally one of the best in the business. Probably the best in the business. They're sponsoring everybody from strongman athletes to all the strength sport athletes out there, taking over the game. And you just know you're in safe and good hands when you rock Cerberus Strength.
And make sure that you use our code B4WAR at checkout to save you 10% at checkout.
Absolutely. And their packages always arrive, no problems, shipping, everything. So B4WAR, get you 10% off.
And thank you to Cerberus for sponsoring this podcast.
Absolutely. We love you.
We love you. This podcast is sponsored by Premier TRT and Med Spa. Make sure you guys go over to www.premiertrt.com to get all of your testosterone, hormone, and peptide needs.
Absolutely. And just overall general health. I mean, you guys want to be checked out by the best in the business and people that actually care about you and your well-being and your overall health, whether it's strides and strength, admirations, or just a healthy living style. You guys cannot beat Premier TRT and Med Spa. Great family-owned style business, and you're just one of the family. And as always, get yourself checked.
Either that or go check them out at 12774 Colorado Boulevard, Suite 141 in Thornton, Colorado. Yeah. Go over there and tell Melanie we said that we sent you, you know. Tell them that Built for War sent us.
That's right. You were hanging out with us last night, chilling, and you needed to come get checked. So, bam, there you are.
Yeah. For a low price, they'll check you out. They'll get you what you need and get you out the door so you can be back to living a healthy, lovely lifestyle like everybody else.
That's the American dream.
That's the American dream.
It really is. But no, for real, guys, always we say keep an eye on your health, and there's nobody better.
Yeah.
Premier. And, family, and just, man, you just become one of the family, okay?
You're part of the familia now.
For real. You're under my protection, okay?
Well, thank you for sponsoring us, Premier TRT, and thank you to you.
Always.
We'll see you guys.
Anyway, so yeah, I hoot hollered and had my minute and fucking went outside and vented and all that shit. And it was just one of those things of like nothing ever goes to plan, I feel like, in my life. Like that's why I kind of live my life like very spiritual and hippie-ish, because every fucking time I seem to have a plan, never does it work out. Like it just, that's the way it works. And I think for
Praise
most
be to
people,
God.
Yeah, I mean facts.
Praise be to God.
Dude.
Because every time you think you have a plan, you realize he has a different plan.
It's serious. I'm not even shitting, with so many different things in my life. Even like on a day-to-day basis, you're like, all right, shit, I'm going to hit work. I'm going to do this. Oh, fuck yeah, we're going to get that shift in. This. And then something always ends up happening. And And then I always get mad because like now you fucked up my plan. And I get super like,
oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can understand that. And because it's such a great feeling when a plan comes together and it works out together and it falls. And it's just like
literal favorite thing to say. Love it when a plan comes together. Because when it does, it's the most
satisfying.
Yeah,
it's just like fucking let's go.
It's like watching 2 hours straight of those most satisfying reels.
Yes.
Where you just get lost into a honey hole and you're like, oh, fuck.
Dude, it is. And then when it goes to shit, it's just like, fuck. And, so I ended up outside and I chilled and kind of reset my mind. I was like, well, you know what I mean? And literally, like, the thing that went, like, kept going through my head, what literally was like, why do you keep fucking, like, praying to be strong and shit if you ain't ready to, like, deal with some shit and battle some shit? That's literally, because I was out the truck where, like, you're in a piss poor mood and you're like, you know what? Fuck this comp. Fuck these people. This is bullshit. That kind of feeling, right? And I want to smoke, and I don't smoke now in comps. Like, that's something I don't do. I do not smoke in comps anymore.
Trying to stay
very
focused.
cleared, and then it doesn't affect with my mood, because sometimes I get like really amped up and then I just crash like a motherfucker. So I don't do that. And so I was having and that's like what was hitting me. And then I was just like sat there. I was like, fuck. And then then I chilled. And then it came across and I was like, well, looks like we got to fucking switch it up. And this could happen any day. We're getting ready to go to Worlds. We're getting ready to go do this. Any of those things can happen, and we need to see if like we're ready to flip it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm 0 points, and sure shit, after the rest of those guys pulled, the winning lift was 600 pounds. So my original, was it 6 or was it 605?
625.
Oh, somebody did pull 625. Okay.
Yep.
So no biggie.
Chest.
So I would have took second on my first pull. So
that's crazy.
right, dude. And my second pull would have, even off of that, I would have been like, okay, you're doing 625. I'll do 630.
So here is the top 3 deadlifts of his class. We've got 625, 675, 625, 575, and then 570.
Yeah, bro.
This is how you know that the pro class was no fucking slump.
That's what I mean.
Starting, which we knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Starting was 805. Next was 695.
Yep.
Next was 675. Third place is 100 pounds over.
Exactly.
What is that? Second place? Yeah.
Yeah, second place. Yep. And that's
100 fucking pounds over.
And see, and this is the thing is like, because I've been doing that, that's why my opener in my head was to go so much heavier.
Yeah.
Like preparing almost if it was your class, like something I would normally do. So in my head, it's kind of like, it's not disrespect, but at the same time, it's like,
It's playing the game.
it's playing the game, right?
It's a fucking game.
It's a
Because
game.
when you get done, you're looking and you're making sure of what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, you got to, right?
So when everybody else is done, you're like, okay, I know that this guy's already out. He's out. He's out.
Yep.
I'm going to keep a fucking eye on these 2 guys.
Yep.
And if they don't call a number bigger than what I can do, I'm going to do my number and I'm going to be done.
And dude, I think
Save it
that's
for the rest of the comp.
Exactly. And I think that's a big, important lesson for you, especially newer lifters. I understand that you just now were in prep. You're peaking for a big lift. You want a big lift. You're ready for it. But dude, in the name of the game, if you do not need to pull that lift, do not pull it. Save it for the rest of the comp, because you'll trust me, you'll have that built up like aggressive energy in you.
Well,
to
people
use
always
for the rest of it.
People always say like, "Oh no, I'm going to have more."
Yeah.
It's like you're still using energy.
Absolutely.
Your body still has a battery, right?
Exactly.
If you're using, even though you're only using an eighth of a fucking battery,
yeah.
you could use that on something else.
Dude, and it's in strongman, you guys know half reps, that last rep, how many people lose by 1 rep or like a fail because you just ran out of gas? That much energy, trust me. And it's like, if you want to peak, then do a YOLO fucking after on your deload week or something. And if you're still peaked, because a lot of guys do that, and you're not trashed from the comp, fucking, you're still peaked, go hit a fucking sick gym PR.
Most of the times, that's what I do.
Exactly, yeah.
Most of the times, a week before is normally at my peak.
Yeah.
So I hit a gym record.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a gym record, a personal record in the gym.
yeah.
Because it's like, it gets me fucking fired up for that next weekend.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
like, cool, now I just got to get mentally prepared for a water cut if I have one.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that we didn't talk about. You didn't have to water cut.
Oh, yeah, and I'm sorry. Yeah, this is a 220 class, so, and because I'm a 90s and usually sit at just like 94 kilo, so like 205, 206, something like that. I don't have to water cut for these.
What did you weigh in at?
With clothes on, with a jacket, at 208.
208.
Yeah.
And my water cut per se was literally fast until about noon on Thursday, and then sip water and eat fucking strawberries.
Which is so cool. That's so awesome.
Bro.
That's so good, because normally he has to do like the pretty, like what I, have to do worlds and everything else, fucking actual water cut, sauna.
Which is
bullshit.
what I'm going to have to do for OSG.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So,
It'll be a normal protocol.
I've already talked to my coach, and we're like, let's get you up there to that 260, 270 point.
Because you need to be able to blow back up on that day.
Yep.
You know how to.
Yep. He's like, we'll get you up there, and then a month before, we'll taper you down and fucking water cut whatever's left. I'm like,
exactly.
that's going to suck.
Yeah, it's going to suck, but yeah, you're going to need it, though.
But 105 athletes are normally walking around at fucking
Big,
260,
bro.
250
They're
anyways.
big.
So
They're big boys. Yeah, them 105 are big boys. So that's how my deadlift went. So
Yeah.
Austin, how did your deadlift go?
So my opening, I wanted to hit 605.
Yep.
I don't know why that number stuck in my head. I think it was just it's 5 over 600.
For sure.
I haven't pulled 600 in a few years.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those kind of like, I can do this. I know I can do it. So I'm just going to do it. And luckily I did, because other people were pulling 600 for their first.
Yeah, exactly. It was really nice. You
Ethan
went
was
straight
one that
5
pulled
over.
his 600 on the second, which mine would have beat that anyway since mine was first.
Yep.
So I pulled 605 and it went really fucking fast.
Oops. It did.
fuck
It did.
that.
It flew. I was right
So
there.
after that, I was like, Okay, now it's time to hit that fucking number that has been fucking with me for weeks.
It has.
So that was 635. That fucking dude, as soon as I locked onto the bar, it
was
also
good.
flew.
Yeah, it went really good.
As to where, so this is where I think I got fucked up.
Yeah.
I had the suit dialed.
Yeah.
And I didn't take the fucking straps off. Somebody came up and took my straps off.
Oh, really?
My shoulder straps.
Oh, fuck.
So when I went to put them on, it was kind of rushed. I noticed that when I bent over to grab the bar, I lost all my breath and I couldn't fucking gain it back. So my third attempt was 655. That was going to put me in a really, really good spot.
That would have been really good. That probably been third, right? Fourth. We got
No, it looks like I got fourth.
You got fourth, so you would have took third.
No,
because 690, 805, so second, third.
So I was getting
fourth.
third either way.
Yeah, you got
fourth.
Fourth, no matter what.
Yeah,
because the next jump would have been 675.
675.
So yeah.
So I knew that like 655 would have been a fucking really cool PR to hit.
And that right, and a PR. So fuck.
Which 635 was technically a PR for me, anyways. But I was like, I could fucking.
We knew
toss
you
on
could do
another
it.
20
Like
pounds.
yeah.
And as soon as I pulled it off of the floor, I lost all the lights and put it back down. I was like, no, I fucking want this.
Yeah.
But there was just no gas in the tank.
For sure.
Like I just couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
So I unhooked from the bar. I was like, yeah, it is what it is. Like 635 was a big fucking deal
was,
for me.
and it was a win after and and that's the thing about you got to take those wins, those small victories in this game is so long term that it's the smallest little victories that help in comps, and like in training, like so. We'll get into the one for me in the next event, but when something's bothering you in training and hindering you, and then all of a sudden comp day when it's most important and you're kind of nervous but you're confident, and then it fucking moves and it flies and it like goes better than you thought. Those are just like those sweet, just like let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a good victory.
Yeah, because like when I led up all the way to 585 in warm up.
Yeah.
When I pulled 585, I was like, oh, 635 is fucking
gonna move.
done.
Right,
dude.
right.
And sure enough, it was. And it was like one of those things where, and I wish somebody would have gotten a video of
I know,
it.
it's so sad. Nobody did.
Nobody did. My wife was grabbing a video of it and somehow her phone cut out right when I got strapped to the bar.
I swore Brooke had her phone right there.
So she did, and it cut out right before I got strapped to the bar, and it turned back on right as I was walking away.
That was meant to be. Meant to be.
Yep.
To keep it as a mental.
Yep. So, yeah, as soon as I lifted it up, I put it down respectfully.
Yeah.
I got on hitch, and I was like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because it was that one that has just been fucking irking me for like, God, when was that deadlift session?
That was like over a month ago.
Yeah, it was like a month and a half ago, right?
Yeah, and it was kept hindering him flying off the floor and just getting into one spot and not moving.
Yep.
And and then it never stopped. It flew right through. So
I got that bitch fucking dialed in.
Yeah, and it looked great. It looked great, and yeah, so we totally figured 655 for sure.
Yeah, no.
And but that's the way it goes. So, but no, that was really good. So you had a victory going right off the bat.
Yep.
And then so then we rolled into the next event, which was
the dumbest fucking
stupidest
press
event, keg press for reps. And if you guys are normal listeners, you'll know that we touched base on this with my training and my problems with the keg press.
Yeah.
A couple podcasts ago. And so this was the one I actually pushed it so much in training that I knew for a fact, like weeks into it when we were discussing this, like I was having a hard time like doing one or two in a row, like because I kept fucking technique up and everything else, and I kept like it just was so off. And it was to that point where the event, anytime, even in training, you start getting the little butterflies, and then you start questioning things and your technique. Anytime, for some reason, I could warm up from whatever keg all the way up to a 200, and I could do it in my sleep. And all of a sudden, you could grab a 225 keg, and it's like, okay, let's make sure our fucking belt's on, and this is on, and
now,
let's go.
Your weight was 225, right?
Yeah, 225.
Okay, because at the comp you were saying no, that was 250.
No,
somebody was. I'm pretty sure it was you. I was like, no fucking way.
No, I've never done a 250 keg. There ain't no fucking way it was me.
Yeah,
because I've never gone over a 225 keg. I've never even tried. So yeah, there ain't no fucking way it was me.
Somebody was running around.
hell
Somebody
no.
from the 220 class was like, "No, I was
bro,
doing
that's
250.
250.
That's
Yeah,
250."
fuck no.
I'm like, "No, the pros are 250.
Yeah.
The 225 is it's a lot. I'm not saying that it's not.
Well, right, but
it
no.
is not.
Well,
250.
you guys had what, 240 keg, right?
I think ours was technically
It was supposed to be 250,
240.
but they gave you a 240.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a pretty specific number. They loaded it that way.
Well, I think that they ran out of room,
Or they ran
in the
out-
keg
and they're
because
just
there
like-
was no sand shake.
That's
to
true.
It.
And they're just like, fuck it. I don't know what to tell you.
I guess
It's 240
it is what it is. Yeah.
And so I knew it, but luckily, like in training and literally like up to my last keg session, I knew that I was at least good for like 3. I was like, fuck it. Like, I was expecting this event not to really go that well, even though, which is weird for me because usually pressing events are pretty good for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, bro. We're going to see what happens. And yeah, so, and because I was last on the deadlift, I had to start the event, which means I got to set the pace. And it actually, like, dude, you know,
And
it worked
boy,
out.
did you.
Yeah, and exactly. And it flew. It went great. Everything went. I did do 6 reps, but I did get disallowed for one of them because I stepped back off the platform. And
That was so funny. You literally did fucking like 3 steps. You stepped off of the platform
Yeah.
and still held it, and they're like, "No."
yeah, that dude, I don't remember. He was the one of the state reps or whoever that dude.
So I'm pretty sure he's like a step under Willie.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's
So
like a
Willie is
state-
the president of the
Yeah.
USS.
He's like a
and
vice president or something.
something.
Yeah,
like that.
he was, dude. He made you hold that keg for so fucking long.
He
was so strict all day.
Yeah.
and I
if
was
you
like,
had any kind of fucking
dude,
shake,
anything. He's like,
he was like, "Nah."
yeah, and it's like one of those things in rep events. It's like I appreciate that really good like attention to detail with judging. I do appreciate that, but it's one of those things that like when you're in rep events in some area, you got to have a leniency because it is for reps, dude. You're holding me up for seconds on seconds. Max deadlift for sure, locked
Yeah.
out or max log, max axle, whatever. Like it's like you're doing 1 rep, so I need that to be a perfect rep per ton.
So I'm kind of mixed on both, right? Because like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
At the same time, I feel like if you're doing a rep event, are you fast getting into the rep done?
Right.
And then you're shaking?
Yeah, it's true.
Like what? Like
It's
because
true.
what
Can
are
you hold that position?
exactly?
Yeah.
Or does it take you a while to get up there, anyways? Because
yeah.
if you are a strong person, say in a keg press,
Right.
you're getting it up there, you're getting it locked out, you're
Right.
done, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
is how this is fucking going."
Right.
Are you fumbling at the bottom and trying to like get it up? Because I feel like although his calls were very strict, I wish that more people were strict like that.
And I agree.
Because, and I know this is a controversial thing, Zadrunas' fucking last log record was not a fucking record.
They actually brought that. You know who brought that up? That's been brought up recently.
Really?
Well, I guess apparently a lot of people have. I didn't know it was so popular of a subject on Mitchell Hooper's behind the scenes, or no, Big Law's behind the scenes at the Arnold.
Really?
Because so when they did the Arnold, they did the Austrian Oak for reps, right?
Yeah.
And Mitchell was doing it, and Zadrunas was judging him.
Yep.
And on which, and he was the main judge on everything. And the circus dumbbell, Mitchell did a circus dumbbell, and he disallowed the rep. And like it was locked and everything, but he was kind of in his weird position. Gave him no rep.
Oh, because Mitchell has a weird thing to
He
where
does
he
that,
doesn't
like, fucking-
he doesn't stand all the way up with it. He stands off
exactly, and so he disallowed his rep, and then so it was behind the scenes, and Laws is his coach, and they're talking and stuff, and then sure shit, Zadrunas walks up, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm glad you're here," and like he said, you know, I agree with your call, all this stuff, and then Laws comes out with he just bam, he goes, "Well, Zadrunas, I mean, it makes sense, right?" He's like, "Now let me ask you," he's like, on a athlete's standpoint, if a judge says good rep, you take it. It's a good rep. He's like, you don't just keep holding it, press it. Because he's like, a lot of people could say that about a couple of your world records. Like he straight calls him out on it. And he's like, but you're going to take the lift, right? Because it, and Zadrunas kind of was like, sometimes I keep pressing. Make sure it's good lift for me. And it's like, bullshit. Because he said on that one, and because they went to like Laws edited a clip of that in there of his thing, and I did rewatch it, and he held it for a long time, but he was dancing.
He was shaking.
He was stepping forth and backwards and everything else. So, and but apparently, like, the way he was talking about it, like, it's a controversial like thing. So,
and luckily, it doesn't matter anymore
No.
because Iron Bibby, fucking,
he took it. So
it was
this one.
It was this one right
Yep,
here, right?
right there, 2014, 227. Because they're trying to still break the two.
Web hosting.
Yeah, because BB did break the 230 finally.
Yes.
Or 228. What did he do?
He did. I don't know.
You will have to look it up, but I mean, this is an unbelievable lift because this is held since 2014, and it just now got broken. See?
Nope.
And that's what I mean. He was
Dude, get
he
this
was,
shit the fuck off the
I
screen.
know he was solid up top, but he was dancing in his legs. He was like his shoulders and like his triceps. If you watch his upper above that massive belly of his upper, super locked, but his below is dancing all over the fucking place.
Does Giants Live keep this shit on there so that way people, because it's super controversial now, it pops up during the fucking lift?
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. I think it like, cause see, he's solid. Oh no, he did. Oh right, yeah. I don't know, bro. Like, so that's what I mean. He got called out, and like, he's like, but you got the down call, you got the world record. Like, so I mean, on a athlete side of it, it's like, well, they gave it to me. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I don't fucking like that.
I know.
I think that I think everybody should be that strict.
I agree.
I think everybody, but and here's the problem: it's relative, right?
It's
It's subjective.
And that's the problem.
And when it comes down to something like that, like, oh no, I saw a good lift, but everybody on the cameras are like,
bullshit.
No,
Yeah.
no.
And that's the problem is like when in strongman there's so many multiple events. So unless you're doing smaller shows where it's like one class of 10 or 12 of you all have the same exact judge. So it's super fair. That's the only way you can have a fair fucking show.
Yeah.
One judge for every athlete that goes. And then because you could say the same thing like
which was the nice thing about having this guy all throughout. this
exactly
entire
like
thing.
so, and that was the way these shows worked, which was nice. They made sure that the same judges were like doing everybody. So so anyway, so we went and so I got 6 reps. Super happy with it. They flew, everything felt great, and but I got disallowed 1 because I stepped off the platform. So I ended up with 5, which got me second.
We got second.
I
You
got
were tied
second.
for first, but since
I said it, and then the guy, then the other kid, which is like, mind you, that's the problem with these classes. This guy's fucking. How old was he? 24.
Yeah, I think he's.
Like I was like,
No, I think he's 25.
yeah, maybe like 25. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm like 11 years older than you. And the thing about him,
Great dude, though.
great dude, loving to
Gave
death.
me a beer after the show.
Yeah, we had a beer together,
Yep.
and that's what I was telling him, and that's the beautiful thing about strongman, and that's what he was a very impressive athlete, and you know what I mean. He's young, and like the way he could jump, it was impressive as fuck. That's what I told him all day. I was like, and we'll get into the other events, but he was just so like what I was discussing in the podcast about the whole keg press, where being explosive and like being able to do all these things that I used to be able to do. This kid that I was against, who ended up winning the show. He was like that in all the events, just so snappy and bendy and this, and it was like, oh, my knees look like they're gonna fucking snap when you do that. Oh my god, my patellas, I can feel that. And but no, very great competitor, and I loved it because then it actually gave me like I had to like really push.
Oh, yeah.
Which was really nice. It wasn't like, oh, okay, we've had a fuck up this morning and like no big deal, we're just gonna run this shit. So it was great. So
So mine did not go as planned at all. Here, we'll get this done here. Salute.
Yes, to
Not as good as Cristalino,
no,
but not bad.
but it's still good though.
Yeah. So mine did not go as planned at all. I'd never really had a prep for this show at all.
No.
I got to 200 and did 20. Let's see, I did 21 reps basically in a row.
Yeah.
I was feeling really good.
Yeah.
But I hadn't hit 250 for weight yet.
Yep.
So going into that show, I warmed up I got to a 200-pound keg. I was like, I know what I need to do.
Right.
So
Just send it.
if it's going to happen, it's going to happen today.
Right.
I'll get 1, maybe 2.
Yep.
We'll hope for more.
Yep.
And none actually hit.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got it to my chest, I'd been training vipers.
Yeah.
And I was expecting a viper.
Yeah.
At least on one. Well, it got to my chest. It sat on my chest. And when I started out with my press, I had my legs too far in. And I was like in the zone. I was like, oh, I just got to fucking push this.
Right.
It's like, I just got to do it.
Just grunt through. Who cares?
So with my legs too far forward, it put a lot of pressure on my knees.
Yeah.
I ended up popping both of my tendons.
Yeah.
Not off. I'm not injured.
Really, they just,
but they popped.
They moved. Yeah.
And it fucking really hurt.
I'm sure it did.
So I set it back down. I was like, maybe I'll try it again.
Yeah.
I'll just focus on getting it to the chest, spread out my feet a little bit, and then try the press.
Yeah.
And I did that, and it just fucking...
Yeah, as a sideliner, I watched it, and you're exactly right. Yeah, because you were training vipers, and then so on the day, like, yeah, sometimes you can use a new technique, however it may be. And that one rep, it was either your second like go or I don't remember what number it was, but like it got stuck on your chest, and then you like. It was really impressive. Like you grunted it to get into one of those back presses like everybody does.
Yep.
And I was like, he's never even been in that position. And then that's where you would just set to press, but I could see it immediately because it would be the same if I was there. You have no confidence in that because it's like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
I'm like, this is, yeah. So what I do is so when I pick it up, I pick it with my left hand up top, my right hand on the bottom.
Yep.
So I brought it up.
Yep.
That I knew that I could press the one hand.
Yeah.
And then it was going to be a quick snap.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this is the one that's got to travel.
Yeah.
This is not my strong arm.
No.
This one is. So this one was already locked out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I dropped down and I'm like, why is all the weight on the left side?
Yeah.
Well, that's because that was where it was sitting.
Just sitting like.
I press everything from my right. My
Yeah,
dumbbells
if it was
on
the
that
opposite,
side.
it would have been the opposite.
Yes, if I was already pressed out,
Yep.
but I don't know if I'd be able to press that up.
It's very true.
You know what I mean?
It's a whole different technique. You've never even done it.
Yeah. So as soon as I got it up, I was just like, this isn't happening.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, wow. I was like, because you had it here, and then it sat like a log on the front of your chest, and then you like grunted it up over your head, and I was like, wow. I was like, here it goes, and I was like. He has no idea what he's doing.
Nope. I was just fucking, dude. I was fighting
I was
for air
impressed
at that
though.
point.
I was like impressed. I was like, fuck. I thought you might get it though, because like how grit you were in the situation with
Yeah.
it. I was like, he's gonna pull that off.
Yeah.
And, but it's okay because what won it?
6 won it. Kraus won it with 6.
Okay. Yep.
I'm sorry. 4 won it.
Oh, 4 and then 3
And then 1.
Okay, so
Yep.
1 would see like we said, 1 will do you really good.
I would have tied for 3rd.
Exactly. So
Which is, it's crazy to me that I didn't get it, only because I was assuming that I was going to get it.
for sure.
I think we had talked about it on the podcast. I was assuming I was going to get 3.
Yes, I think you did.
And that did not happen.
Yep.
So, also, like I said, I didn't train it at all.
Right, and you know.
Well, I should say I trained it 1 session.
Well, and that's the thing too is that, and that's something I'm trying to be better about is like, you have to be confident in this game and your abilities, but then there's also just lack of preparation. And I've done it multiple times. Like even something if it's an event that I'm like, oh, in the past I've been really good in that, so I don't need to train it too much. And then something like so in your head you're like, oh yeah, for sure.
Well, and I'm also looking at this. Who's the top 3 guys in there? CJ, Ryan, Ethan.
Yeah.
Where do they train?
Oh, at Iron Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Where do the other guys train?
I have no idea.
I don't fucking train there.
No.
I don't have any fucking kegs.
Yeah.
I have kegs, but I don't train with them. I don't know where Kyle trains. I don't think Lars trains it.
I don't even know who those good dudes were.
But I was like, okay, these guys literally, this is their backyard.
And that's just it. They know the kegs, they know the implements and everything else. But
I wasn't stressing on this event.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things of just like we always talk about, like you have to do the work to make the worries go away, if that makes sense. You know, you dial it in so much, but I mean, either way, that was I remember watching that. I was like, wow, that was pretty good. When you got, because because I think it was your second one. Yeah, because you went and like, you went for the Viper and then like it went wrong and you said it and then you rolled it up again and it got stuck right here. And I was expecting it just to go back down and like you to recenter and like, you know, go from there. And then you just sat there for a minute and then you're just like, God. I was like, wow. I was like, let's go. But I was like, he has no idea what he's doing right now.
If it was on my right side,
for sure,
I would have been able to just fucking grit my teeth and do it.
For sure. It was a great.
But it was on my left.
It was cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still cool. I was like, fuck yeah.
Not a video of that either.
No, nothing.
I got to get used
really?
to
No videos of that? How is that? We have Zach. We have so many people.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I didn't. The only thing I got a video of, I think, is the finger fingers and the cake over bar.
Really? I think you don't really jam out though while you're at comps. Yeah, and I think that's the only reason. Like I know I get videos because I'm literally it's my phone's right here. I got my Bluetooth in, and as they're going, Mike, Bluetooth out, take my phone, and then like you know what I mean.
I'm gonna start only because that is the one thing. Everybody else was kind of like walking around with their headphones on, and I'm like, man, maybe that is something I need to do because I don't do that.
No, you don't. And as I just now kind of like thought about that for a minute. I was like, you don't. No. You don't like jam.
I've never been that guy, so it might be. I think it's gonna be something that I do. And for nationals,
try it
because nationals. Well,
nationals is a very like, and I do understand both sides of it because there's some comps that I don't wear headphones. I don't. You need to be sucked into your environment. You need to be in the situation. You need
situationally aware.
Very much. You need to be in that climate. What's going on? Who's doing what? This is what's going. Where the headphone things, I feel like. You get lost in your head, you get lost in the music, the feeling. So you kind of blind out what's going on around you. You're just focusing on one thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's both. Because I've done the opposite of where like I'm too lost in La La Land. And it's like, you need to fucking be right here. You need to be present, dude. And so certain events I'm that way. But most of the time I do a jam out. And like, so... Yeah, you just have to try it. Everybody's different. Some people don't some people don't even like being slapped up and fucking crazy. You know what I mean? So
I'm starting to get more towards that.
Yeah, just calm, collective.
No.
Like get slapped up. Then that's when whatever works for you.
Because I noticed that like for my 605 and my 635,
I know. I was right.
You're like looking at me, and dude, I was just lost in like I was lost in like looking at you, and you're just like, get this fucking done. I know. And I think you. You smacked me and grabbed my shoulder.
Yeah.
And you're like, fucking go do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And literally I did it.
It was
I was like,
good.
maybe I do need to be aggressive.
And that's what I mean, right? It's true. I mean, everybody has their little switches. You know, the Icelandics, the rubbing of the ears and screaming in their eye. Everybody's different. Mitchell Hooper, like he fucking hates it if you slap him. Apparently. So if you guys are ever around him and you guys happen to be in a thing, if you guys didn't know that, do not slap that man and do not yell in his face and be like, let's fucking go. He hates that apparently. Like he's like, it literally irritates me when people do that.
Well, he's
very different.
He's cut from a different cloth.
He is. Like because most strongmen, you slap him in the face, chalk a handprint, like they're gonna be super stoked.
There's a big difference between T-Rex and Mitchell Hooper.
So different.
Like,
I love that, dude.
Try to knock out T-Rex.
Dude.
Right?
Dude.
Go after fucking Singleton. Don't even talk to Mitchell because he's probably listening to some classical music.
Dude,
he's calm, he's chill.
Thinking about the symphony and like his stocks and where he's gonna put this in.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But yeah, with Evan Singleton, try and kick his knees out.
Exactly. Literally. Like, dude, I love that. It's so funny. Did you watch the Arnold where like he has Adam like slaps him every fucking... But the problem, only with him, his problem is he gets too hyped.
Yes.
Because he fucking makes mistakes because he gets too hyped.
So that's the thing. That's the thing that I always look at with some people is... They're overly hyped.
Too much.
They're just like, I'm going to grit this the fuck out.
Exactly. And then you lose tension, you lose technique, it goes out the window.
You don't do that in the gym every single time.
Exactly.
Right? If you're not doing it in training,
exactly.
It's just like a suit, basically. Right? If you think about it. If you're putting on a suit every single time for a deadlift, what happens when you're not doing something with a suit?
Yeah, exactly. It feels totally different. It's different.
So when you're in a gym, right, you're not training with a suit on every single time you deadlift.
No.
Sometimes you train without the suit.
Yeah.
I feel like that if you're getting fucking hyped up every single time that you do a lift, that's great. It transfers because it's a part of the training apparatus.
Right.
It's something constant.
It's constant. It's the same thing.
Now, if you're not doing it and you're only doing it for like the big lifts at the shows, which is like every single fucking lift, I feel like you're missing out.
For sure.
You know, like yeah, sure. It is nice to get hyped up. It's nice to be grabbed. It's nice to be fucking slapped every now and then.
Right.
Like if you know that there's something big that you're already like kind of eyes blackened on.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes sense.
For sure.
But for every single fucking lift,
And like,
you're getting that hyped up to do a Husafel?
right. Or like something that's like reps for events. It's like, that's cardio, bro. That's a lot of energy. You just fucking freaking out.
Just fucking.
Like, dude, I understand maxes and shit like that. Like, you need to boom, 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 boom. Let's get this done. But
Fuck
like,
me up for a max. Don't touch me on a fucking
exactly.
max.
Like, you need to be calm. You need to be cool. You need to be collective. And I watch a lot of his videos, but he's like that anyway. So he does do that anyway. But I think you put a crowd in front of it, and then like
it just gets even more
hype,
superficial
because it does. And
I feel like it turns into like a showman.
It's a showman, and it is because that's who he's become. Kind of like back in the day, and I mean, and in some ways it works. Eddie Hall is the beast because he was that way.
Yeah.
He was like screaming and yelling and fucking.
Look where Eddie's at.
Exactly.
Look at comparatively to guys like Thor.
That don't really speak. They're really nice, real calm. And like,
they do their little fucking ear rub and the fucking.
But that's a personal thing. It's not a showmanship, right? Like where they
do that only on the fucking big lifts too.
And
on the maxes.
Yeah, you don't see them out there on a fucking medley like screaming and hooting.
They're not doing that for a frame carry.
Exactly. Like they're just like, bro, go out there and go do what you do.
But when it comes to the big lifts, there is that time that you have to find that fucking.
And that's what I've found in like my little bit of age is like, and just like through lifting, is that you stop being such an emotional trigger. It's more of just like breaking down technique and making sure this is right, and this is right, and breathing and bracing and this and this and this. Like all the fine lines are together. And then sure, if you have a little emotion behind it, but it's usually only on the big lifts, like big maxes and shit like that, where you just, and it's usually just because really your brain is like, I don't really want to do this. I don't feel like doing this, but you have no fucking choice. And so like, let's go.
I think mine comes down to when it comes to the big lifts like that, I really start to find myself in that super fucking like dark, evil place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fucking tell me I'm a piece of shit.
Right.
Tell me that I'm that fucking kid still. Let me show you otherwise.
I get that.
It's one of those things. It's not not of like a hype me up. It's a fuck me up and let me show you otherwise.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I get that. I do get that.
Because I've always like, and that's the thing that I always tell people, like negative energy is a very fucking good thing to have. Everybody's like, no, go off of these positive vibes, bro.
Right.
It's like, no, remember that time in 5th grade when that bitch fucking rejected you for not having fucking cool shoes?
Yeah.
And then she turned out to be a meth head? And look at where you're at.
Right.
It's one of those where it's like, I have a mental checklist of every single motherfucker that told me I wasn't going to be something.
Yeah.
That stays right here.
Yeah.
Little chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And when I know that I'm fucking needing it.
Yeah, you can
I'll take a little bit. And
for sure.
Hey, go fuck yourself, Amanda.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I feel you 100%. Right?
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I do
like
feel you.
and this is a big thing with like mental toughness anyways. Any big time earner, entrepreneur, fucking athlete, all of that have all said the same thing.
Yeah.
They all have a little bit of fuck you in them.
Well, yeah, you all have to. I think the biggest thing between that and someone is like everybody's got, and most strongmen, most people like that, they have like a beast inside them. And it's learning to know how to feed that beast and being able to open that cage and let him out, knowing that he's going to return. And I think too many people, they either do the one where they keep it bottled in. They never open the cage. They try to board it up, let him stay in there. I never want to see him until until it takes
Breaks out, fucks up their life.
It fucks up their lives and completely. Like, you must become friends with it. You must tame it. That is your responsibility as an individual. Everybody has their own demons. Everybody's has their own beast inside of them, whether it's wrath, rage, gluttony, whatever it may be. You must learn to like tame that and know how to use it as almost like it's a pet. It was fucking born inside of you. So it ain't going anywhere, motherfucker. You won't run from it. It's going to catch you. It will always catch you.
I don't know who said it originally, but Joe Rogan has this fucking trending audio out there that says it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
It's 100% true. And that's the truth.
Like, use it.
Yeah.
And even Jordan Peterson has said it too. Like, it's best to become a monster.
Exactly.
And then it's best to control it.
Exactly. Well, right.
Because it's the fucking peaceful people who are all about love, sunshine, happiness, and blowjobs that end up getting their fucking teeth stomped.
Well,
in.
and exactly. They can't respect peace for what peace is. Like, it's like, if you're living in a war, you understand what peacetime is.
Yeah, like most Americans that have never been out of the country that think that it's so oppressive.
It's so bad here. And it's like people are fucking little Abu Dhabi is sitting there in a gas fucking, like in a garbage thing fucking, it's terrible. Like, you have no idea.
Literally cross a border into Juarez, you'll think America is fucking 5 stars.
Dude, for real. So
that's for the tinfoil show.
yeah, fuck. Dude, oh my God. We should so do a tinfoil episode and just go off on every conspiracy theory ever. Because especially nowadays, I've been a conspiracy theorist my entire life. I've always been black sheep in my family as the conspiracy theorist.
Yep.
Thing is, homie, they're all coming true now, motherfucker. And it's like, oh my God.
It doesn't bring me joy being right because it's always shitty.
Exactly. Right. It's
but
like,
at the same time, I told you
dude,
so.
My mom will have conversations today. I'm like, remember when I was like 10 and I used to say that shit? And like, dude, she knows.
Remember when 9/11 was an inside job?
Yeah, dude, I used to, every time anything would go off, I'm all on it. And she's like, boy, you just living in your little crazy world conspiracies. And I was like, nuh-uh. I was like, you don't even fucking understand.
Yeah.
And like now things come across and then she like starts talking to me about it. I'm like, yeah.
And the thing is I always love when people call it a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Because I always go, there's a difference between a conspiracy and a conspiracy theory. Yeah. A conspiracy theory is something that is a theory. It doesn't have logical or explanational facts.
Exactly.
A conspiracy is a real life fucking thing that has facts,
exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, so
we're gonna do one of those episodes. Yeah. Dude, we're gonna turn the green lights on, tinfoil hats, and we're gonna fucking dude. This is what's going to happen. Tinfoil hats, and we're just going to rant and rave on every conspiracy theory ever.
Oh, dude. We're doing that next week.
Yeah, that's next week's podcast, so stay tuned for that.
Bring your tinfoil.
Oh, I will.
We'll make sick hats,
and we're going to just pull up everything. JFK, fucking this and this. And
we'll have... So what we're going to do... So what we're going to do is we're going to have 5 talking points.
Okay. And then
we're going to keep it to 15 minutes apiece. Okay. We're going to do like 9/11 vaccines. We're just going to go.
Oh my God. You guys have no idea.
You're going to love it or you're going to fucking hate it.
This is the best idea I've ever heard in my life. Okay.
Oh, man.
So, hey, life's a circle. Let's go back to the competition. So we're on event 3.
God, we're 54 minutes into this.
So, all right. So, yeah, Austin did the 240K. Couldn't quite get it. I got 5 reps. Took me in second. So we were on a little plunge back.
Uno más, senor.
See, and then a little more poquito though, and
little more or less.
Little less. Yeah.
Okay.
Only because I have to fucking drive and. So we went to the third event, which was then a yoke into a yoke 50 foot, and then you sprint back 50 feet, you pick up a keg, you run at the 50 foot, and then you land it on the platform at the end of the run. And as long as the keg, is standing up, up and down vertically, then your time expires. So
So your keg has to be standing up, and you have to be hands off.
hands off, yeah, for your time to stop. And so I went in and I gained a couple positions, and like from what I saw, like yoga is a pretty good event for me. And this is one of those also ones that like I was feeling good after the last event just because like fucking kegs went to shit during training, and like we just pulled it off, and like I'm happy with that. We're building packs. You know, if I can stay in those. You know, the game and the name of the game is consistency and strongman, and that's, you know, top 2, top 3. Like you just stay in those areas. You don't always have to win, and you don't win and then you lose and win and lose. That's where you get shit points. And so I was feeling good about that. So I went in and yoke for me since Texas last year, OSG, after my glute and hamstring thing and Sunday paper pulling out. Yoke used to be one of my favorite events. It has been nothing but torturous for me because every time, like the way you walk with it and everything else, just puts so much pressure on my hamstring. And so luckily, like training had been doing good, but the heaviest yoke I had done up to training was 635, and my comp weight was 675. And so I was doing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, and so in my comp, it was a 675 yoke into a 250 keg.
Yep.
And so we went into it. And yeah, I had prepped up to this, like doing multiple runs, but I never went over 635 just because that's where I felt like my hamstring was like, it's kind of tweaked, but it's getting better. It's building back. And so I just kept it there, and I knew on the day if I was hype, we're good. And I was on a build back, like every fucking point mattered. So I was like, you know, at that point. So my yoke run went really good. Flew, did that, sprinted down, and I was like, I'm going to fuck this event up. It ran with the yoke, sprinted back, picked up the keg. Now, in one aspect, I appreciate it, but in the second aspect, it fucked me up. And also on the third aspect, I have to blame myself because I am one of those people now that I've gotten to the point in the name of the gamemanship of like checking sure your yoke is right, making sure the handles on the implement are correct, right? You check the lanes. Like
being a Brian Shaw when it comes
basically
down
Brian
to what
Shaw,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
And make sure chalk is there. And
that's my only thing that I don't have against Brian Shaw is he makes sure that he knows
so
what the competition is going to look like before he does it. He doesn't.
So smart. He walks.
He doesn't half-ass it.
No,
he knows exactly where every step is going to be.
Exactly. Yeah, he plans it out exactly, and like that's a great way to look at it. And that's something I started doing a couple years ago. And so I did that. Made sure my fucking keg was right, everything else, and then bam, we go. I get to the keg, fucking rip that bitch up. Now, the thing about it is that it was supposed to be a 250 keg. It was a 225 keg from the lightweights. They must not have switched it, or they just were like, fuck it, they can use the 225 keg. I don't care. Thing about it is that I've ran this event multiple times now. I know where a 250 keg sits on me because there's a difference between that 20 pounds is different. Like
20 pounds is 20
pounds. 20 pounds. So, and for me, where I can purchase a 225 keg is a little bit higher up, like above the belt, if you will. And I can then my legs are accessible to really run with it. A 250, it's putting too much strain on my biceps and shit. So I kind of it just sits more in my hip and my legs can't quite. So I lean back a little farther and running on the heels.
Yeah.
Right. So you're leaning back and running. So I ripped that up and I leaned back expecting it to be catching right there. And all of a sudden it flew up over my belt on my sternum and my quads just started moving and boom, booted that fucking keg right out of my hands. And I was like, what the fuck? So this keg is dancing around. I grabbed it.
The keg literally dropped and then went an extra probably 10 feet.
It did. It rolled like 10 feet, almost went into the crowd.
Yeah, almost went into the crowd. And I was just like, Mike, what are you doing?
I know. I was like, and so I ran.
And I was expecting, because I had seen in training that you have done this plenty of times before. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Because I literally watch him and I'm like, keep that pace, keep that pace. He literally grabs a keg, takes like 4 steps, and then kicks it like a soccer ball. I'm like, where the fuck is the rest of the weight in this keg?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly, I knew what happened, because normally when you pick it up high and low.
Yeah.
And then you kind of wiggle.
Lean in and wiggle and go down.
And it bounced off of his quads and then went into the crowd.
Yeah, I was like, dude. So I fucking grabbed it, picked it up, threw it down, and I was so livid because I know I just either was gonna get docked because
we'll just show the boys.
Yeah. So if you guys watch my Instagram, you'll see it.
Come on, Mike!
So we haul ass down here. Boom, we grab this motherfucker. I'm expecting it, and it goes up higher, and
bam.
then boom. I was like, no way this is happening. So we pick it up, and then of course at this point I am just so furious. I was so fucking furious, dude, and because I needed to win. I know. I should have edited that part out.
No, you shouldn't have. Leave that shit in there because
I won't. I mean,
it shows the raw emotion.
and it is.
Because like when you are doing something like this, there is a part of you that are just like you expect something.
Yeah, and dude,
That was not your day.
No, just one thing after another kept going wrong, dude.
I wish I could rewind just that one part. Set it down. You're so straight faced. You're like,
well, and he cut the video. I was hoping he kept it because Ben started dying laughing because I screamed because I'm so mad. And then somebody in the crowd says like, stand up or something. And I think they were talking about my keg. I don't know. And I literally turned the crowd. I'm like, what? And Ben just starts dying laughing. And he's like, there you go, yell at everybody. I'm sitting there like,
it was just so funny how it went down because you turned around, you did that, and then you turned around and came over to the other side. And you're like, motherfucker,
dude. I was like, what just happened? Because
the name of the game on that day was literally just keep Mike sane.
dude,
I was just after the first, and then you did the second, and you missed it by one.
Yep. And then I go into this third event. We're like, it's okay. We're going to win. We're going to win. And then it dropped.
Dude, I got to listen to it again.
It didn't even sound like that. But yeah, so unfortunately, so I took third in that event, and those are the irritating things when you can do so much better. And I was expecting to win that event.
Yeah.
And
the only reason why you lost
it was because I kicked the keg.
Didn't they give you a penalty?
They gave me a penalty too.
So
because that's what I said. As soon as it was over, and because I do.
So technically, you would have won.
I would have
plus some.
Plus some. I would have fucked that event up because I watched the way, even in warm-ups, I was watching the other guys move around with the keg, and I think we warmed up to like 580 or something on one of them.
Yeah,
and I was watching the way, like, even the guy that was in the lead move with that thing, and I was like, you're done. I was like, you're fucked.
You're done.
Yeah, as soon as I saw his 585, I was like, bro, we got to go up 100 pounds. I was like, you're fucked. And so I knew I was going to just smash. And I kind of wanted to put that, like, as an athlete, I wanted to put that burn in there. Like,
yeah,
it's like, you got lucky on the last one, motherfucker. Like, now I'm just going to start taking all of these. And so then when it were wrong, it was just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, and then Zach is like, you got third on that. I was like, fuck. It's like, dude, this is so wrong right now.
Yep. Zeroed.
Yep,
Second.
yep.
Third. You're like,
So
am I going to win one?
So how did yours go?
Yeah, I'll take this with me. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
So, mine did not go very well.
No, it did not.
I zeroed 2 events in a row. So, my yoke weight. When I got there, I was expecting it to be, I think I said 795 or something like that.
Yeah, because in warm-ups, you thought that one yoke was.
I was
You're like, I feel good, man. I was like, I wish it was 800 pounds.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, oh, wow, this is actually going
feels
really good
today.
for me. And, and the guys were like, no, that's 700.
Yeah, that was like
our yoke
7.
is going to be 725. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but either way.
That's
no
fine.
biggie.
Like, I had not prepped. The closest yoke that I had gotten to on this prep was 400 pounds.
Oh, shit.
400 feet.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Okay.
So I was training core. I was training everything else.
Endurance. Yeah.
Granted, I never prepped.
Yeah.
Prepped for this show. My coach and I had kind of gone through. This was the last show on my list of the year.
Yep.
So I wasn't super worried about it. Now, I saw the first guy go.
Yeah. Yeah.
He looked like a baby deer.
When I said the same exact thing, I was like, as soon as I calmed down, and then like your class started, so I'm watching it, and I watched him go, and I go, what the fuck? And you know, and that's the thing about strongman, which is crazy, is that you can have somebody go into like a deadlift event, pull 800 pounds.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you can go into a pressing event, they can't even press 250. They can't even yoke 100. You know, so I was like, damn, I was like, this ain't his event. But like, it looked like a newbie trying to pick up a fucking yoke and walk it.
It looked really
It was
heavy.
rough.
So I'm trying to be more like you here with the swoop. It looks good. So, and then I turned my mic off.
go.
So I saw that and I was like, something's fucking not right here.
Yeah.
So I started looking at the yoke. The yoke was like 200 something.
Yeah.
And then there was like 4 stacks of 3 plates.
Yeah.
And I'm on each corner. I'm like, something's really fucking wrong here.
Okay.
All of a sudden, all of the mathematicians
So,
that were fucking loading
so
these
did
yokes.
you bring it up? Is that how they found out?
I
Or how
looked and
did
I
it
was like,
find
that
out?
looked really fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, hold on, let me do the math real quick. Because that does look heavy.
Yeah.
It was 90 fucking pounds overweight.
Yeah, dude.
So when I saw that it was 90 pounds overweight, I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
I was like, I'm already in the keg press.
Yeah.
My fucking tendons hurt.
Right.
I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to injure myself before nationals.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
So we had a fucking vote.
Yeah.
This is where my day turned into a big fuck you for everybody. We had a vote, and the guy that just did it, they were like, you can do it again. You can do it at the original weight.
Yeah.
And we can go from there. Even though you just did it, it's up to you. Do you want to do it again, or do you want everybody else to go? And everybody else was like, fuck it. This is strongman. Don't be a fucking pussy.
Yeah, I heard it.
And I was like, I'm not fucking doing it.
Yeah.
I literally looked at everybody. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not about being a hard dick
Right, it's
motherfucker.
not ego. It's not ego right now.
I was like,
yeah.
this show means fucking nothing to me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And there was kind of a unanimous decision
To keep it.
to keep it at 815.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's supposed to be a 720 yoke, and then it ended up in an 815. The guy went. Everybody else fucking.
Yeah, it was
It
90.
was an ego, like, because you know they only had the competitors, and I wasn't in the class, so I was on the outside line, and like I watched their little circle and everything, and then like everybody's all hooting and hollering, like, let's fucking do this. And then I was like, oh, and then I see Austin like taking a deep breath and strapping up his belt, and I was like, guess they're keeping it.
I was so fucking
Yeah,
mad.
I could see it in your
was.
face. Yeah.
I literally picked it up and I felt it in my knees,
oh,
in my
for
tendons.
sure. Well, yeah.
I set it down and I was like, I'm not fucking doing this.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people kind of probably got upset that I was so loud about it. But at the same time, I was like, dude, that's not what I fucking trained for.
No, I mean,
Now, I know that there's these strongman events that have these mystery events, and most of the strongman events used to be mystery events.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
These events now, especially being in this pro class, are no fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like, these weights are hurt yourself.
Yeah, for sure. When you're, especially not when you're prepped, like 100 pounds. It's one thing, like, you know, and you see misloads like that happen. Like, you know, oh, sorry, the stones aren't exactly. It's 20 pounds extra. It's 10 pounds. It's 5 pounds lighter. 90 pounds. Like,
Almost 100 pounds.
Almost 100 pounds heavier. Like, that's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
That's being like, hey, we got 500 for reps. Oh, I lied. I only got hundreds. We're doing 600 for reps. It's like,
What?
That's a whole.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. Like, you know, that's different.
So as soon as that happened, I was like, I'm going to take a zero.
Yeah, exactly. Or
And,
like a 725 to a 750. Like, fuck, we don't have the plates. Whatever. It's 20 extra pounds. But yeah, to go from like low sevens to fucking low eights, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, fuck. And personally, like, I've only ever yoked 800 pounds. Like, I've only ever yoked. I've never had to go heavier, and that was for Clash on 105s. It was a 800 yoke to, you know, farmers, but I've never had to do over an 800-pound yoke. So when I was like, I mean, like, yeah, that's fucked. Like, you know, that's 815. That's a pretty heavy load, brother. Like,
That's a fucking lot.
yeah, and especially
That's-
if you're not doing those kinds of weights, you know
Let's
what I
see
mean?
here.
So, like, you know,
If we go down, that was the heaviest yoke of the day. Oh, no. The super heavies had
850.
850.
Okay. But so what? Those guys are like 400 fucking pounds. They're huge dudes.
Yeah.
They're not
so
220.
The heavyweight, the next class up, had a 750.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The 275 and ups. So this is a
275 and lower.
Yeah, or lower. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, this is a pro class, but it would be different if that was what was scheduled. Like, hey, we're doing an 815 yoke. Like, this is what we're doing. Totally different.
So that one didn't go.
Yeah.
as
So
planned.
unfortunately, that was your ruffle in the day.
Yeah. So that turned over a new lead for me because now I'm like, okay, I'm going to make you guys work for the rest of the day now.
Absolutely.
So I took a little bit off of my shoulder there.
Yep.
And then I'm going to say the first one on this one because the next was the finger fingers.
Yeah.
When we got there, I was already pissed off. I'd been trying to fucking eat food.
Yeah.
Because my coach was like, you've got to fucking stay consistently eating throughout the day.
Yeah.
As soon as I got down to the finger fingers, I was like, I'm setting the pace.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did.
You did really good.
So I started out and let's see. No, the one guy went before me.
Yeah. One guy went before
Lars went before me. He got 2 reps. And I was like,
Yeah,
I'm going to double that.
I'm going to fuck this up.
I'm going to double that.
Yep.
So I did.
Yeah,
I got
you did.
4.
Yep.
I tied for second with CJ Kraus. And I was like, yeah.
That
Like,
was a really good event for you.
I was like, this is where I set the pace.
For sure.
And I did. Only one other guy was only one other guy, which was Ryan Stewart, got
5.
5.
Yep.
And he barely got it.
And he barely,
in the
and
nick of
it was like a PR, like,
Yeah.
you know, because the hype, the situation, everybody's going at you.
And here's the other thing too. He's been training him.
Well, and that's what I was just going to say. Again, we're talking to somebody that trains at that gym, has that implement. Here in Colorado, this is, other than one other show that we were going to do, this would be the only time we've ever done finger fingers. And we've never done one this heavy. So there was a show in April of last year that he did. I was going to do, but I got sick. They had a finger fingers in the event of the end of a medley. It ended up not even being in the thing, but we got to do a clinic on that Saturday and try it out. And that thing was half the diameter. That thing was probably like a 6-inch pipe, 8-inch maybe. And it only weighed about 200 pounds. It was more of a cardio thing. It wasn't heavy. It was just like, holy shit, this is a lot. And it was at the end of a medley,
It was super
too.
long.
Super long. And
It wasn't short. It was definitely really
super
long, lighter. So it was like easy to pop.
Yeah,
And then
so it did have its difficulty because it was so long. But
Finger
yeah,
fingers just sucks
They
in
just
general.
suck in general. And if you guys check out our Instagram, you'll see that. You have to go back some posts, but you'll see it. Anyway, that was the only time we've ever touched them. Now, homie Caesar, fucking from Iron Titan, fabbed up these things, and these were probably about 15 foot long, I would say, like 14, 15 foot. And probably about a 10 or an 11-inch diameter, thick as fuck, 400 pounds. Like these were.
Did he tell you what he got these from?
Yeah, it was a fucking
Spreader bars.
It was a spreader
from
bar,
a fucking trench box.
Yeah, so it was over 20-something feet, and he cut this thing down, and so yeah, he built this implement, and that thing was solid as fuck.
Yes,
and nobody.
I loved it.
I did too after the event because going up to it, like I had like kind of picked it up because I just picking it up a little bit, you're just like, holy fuck, the thing is heavy. And then I luckily, like right before
I also forgot. So this was also, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
This is also where my day took a turn for the worse.
Oh,
This is where I dislocated my
your
finger.
finger. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when I had originally grabbed it, I grabbed it like this.
Yeah, like overlapping your fingers.
And I think this is where I fucked myself up. It was either this or when I did the next time.
Yeah.
My right hand goes under, my left hand goes on top.
Yeah.
My right hand is dominant, so
Yeah.
I tried to pull out. I think either that or since my fingers were like interlocked,
Yeah.
I think I tried to pull out, and I fucked it up.
Yeah.
It was super swollen. I can use it now.
Good.
It's not full power.
But I remember
yet.
after the comp, it was all
Yeah.
fucked.
Oh, dude, it was like a fucking
Twisted.
hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that thing was gnarly. Like, you know, to get the pop took so much pressure, and then if you could get
Dude, it was a lot of fucking weight.
It's a lot of weight. So, like, for my class, they did it dry, which was 400 pounds. And, yeah, like me going to this event, I'd never done it. I was like, fuck, I have no idea about this event.
Yeah.
And everything else. I was super happy because, yeah, the guys that went before me, I think the pace was at 3 or 2 or something like that. And then I got 4, which I was fucking, because at this I had no idea. I was like, I wasn't in a huge hurry. I was like, we're just gonna try to fucking do this. And I was, after the end of it, I was like, this is a really cool event. I was like, this is fucking fun.
Yeah.
And so I got 4, which ended up getting me tied. And again, shouts out to him, the guy that won, fucking Mighty Joe. He was a savage, an athlete. God, that man was popping and jerking and fucking underneath that thing.
He was gripping and ripping.
Dude, it was crazy. And he took. So I at least got some points on that and tied for second. So, but Austin's class was 425 because then what they did is it was able to be.
Was it 425? I thought it was
425.
I thought it was the chain was 50 pounds.
No, 25 pounds.
Okay.
Because it was originally, so they changed on this after the yoke mishap, because the way they were going to originally plan it was my class was going to be 425. It was going to be the implement plus a 25-pound chain. The pro class, the 220 Pro, was going to be with 2 chains, which would have been 450.
2 chains.
But they ended up they're like, you know what? Let's just where it is in the day and everything else. Let's just the regular class 220s are going to do empty at 400, and then we're going to have the pro class at 225 with 1 chain.
Well, and I think it was because I made a pretty big fuss.
The yoke. Yeah, because they were.
And the other guys were all coming in and they were like,
yeah. And they're like,
everybody was dying.
Yeah, and everyone's like, that's fine. Even CJ was like, I'm totally okay with that. In some ways it's really nice. They help you out. You still got to do the fucking implements. It's a couple shaving pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. And
anything's a lot when it comes down to something like that. Because,
for sure.
Hold on, I think I got it here. Yep. Bam. Check this shit out, dog.
What is this?
Oh, God.
He's going to download it. So I think one of those implements, one of those, that event for both of us, definitely had help.
This was
you got it. Okay.
Here we go, bud.
Yep. I knew right there.
Is that where it happened?
Yep.
Because I was going to say, that's the only time you had a mishap. So right here, you're just figuring the implement out. You're like, oh, okay, this ain't that fucking bad. Oh, okay, here we go.
I was going to fucking do the double transition.
Yeah. See, but that was so much quicker already. Look at those long limbs.
I know, it's nice.
God,
I'm wide up top.
Yeah. You're long. Look at that. That's what I was.
Damn it, dude. I don't fucking after seeing this, because I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, after I saw that in life, I was like, fuck you, you can jerk. I was like,
we'll see right here, because this is the one where I had to drop her fucking low.
Yeah, you did so good, because see, you did so good with that. And if you watch mine, when my knees gave out, I just let it slam on my chest. I couldn't drop. That's why I was so impressed, the way you were dropping and everything.
Yeah, they were like, you've got 10 seconds. I was like, I'm not getting it in 10 seconds.
When I was watching that in real life, I was like, that's impressive the way you were dropping low.
If I wouldn't have fumbled this.
Yeah, you could probably, because then you would probably have about 15 seconds. You would have went for that last round.
Yep. Motherfucker.
And it's okay, but it was great. That's what I mean. You were dropping.
This is my next Facebook profile.
Fuck yes. And look at Caesar.
In love.
Look at Caesar.
He's all, what are you doing? Yeah. Anthony's over here yelling at me.
Yep.
And these guys are like, he's going to die.
Yep. No, it was really good. And that was a good turning point for both of us, because we both went into an event we had no idea what was going to happen, and we adapted and endured and did really well.
Just did our best.
Yeah, so it was really good.
Yeah.
Which then led us into the final event, which was keg over bar. And for my class, it was a 275 keg, and for his class, it was a 300. And now I was... this day, after being such a shit day, the last 2 events, which usually are the worst for me personally, this is where I kind of die down, I get tired, and you don't want to push all the way to your max, was really good for me, because I had to adapt and endure on the last one, which was a conditioning event, and then you turn around and had to do a conditioning event at the end, and I still was in that fight, because I had, at this point, I was... After that last event, I luckily just had to stay above the guy that was in third. So after my finger fingers, that put me in third, but I was only a couple points ahead. So that means if I would have fucked up the last event, which has happened to me, I can't even tell you how many times in my strongman career I have gone from first to third or first to fucking lower in the last event.
You literally lead the pack all day until the last event.
In the last event, and then I fuck it up in 0 or something. And it's always a load event. Stones, you name it, it happens. And so I went into this, and I knew I had to at least do 6. And I wasn't sure what was going to win. And when I originally went into this, I was like, 6 or 7 is probably going to win it. And I watched the guy that was in 4th place, and he was right behind. He did it 6. So it was like
7.
Or 7. I was like, okay, that's the lead. I was like, fucking great. And so I go into this, and dude, I don't know. It just fucking everything just like everything clicked. Like everything just went into the lap.
Bro, you were on rails.
Yeah, it was, changed.
It was like, okay, the motor's set.
Yeah.
The rails are in place. Put him on and let him go.
And it
was like a slot car.
Yeah.
Dude. You know what
it was
I mean?
like a mental. So I remember in the middle of my run, like I just like stopped thinking. I was like, just go. Just go. Like
real quick, for those of you that are watching, here is Mike's.
Oh,
Tinkles.
yeah. So you guys that are watching, this is mine. So I did the first one. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, cool. But I was like, okay, let's kind of go fast. And then I remember after this one, I was like, see, like I can't dip. I just let it slam into my chest.
You did too.
Yeah, I was like,
I also think that you weren't leaning like far back.
No, yeah.
Like I was using the fuck out of my
I'd have
thoracic.
to practice this a little bit, and I felt like the most energy I was using all day was.
That was a good one.
That one wasn't bad. I liked that one, and then, but yeah, like just getting it up to my chest was so much work. I was like,
bro.
And then right here, I was like, dude,
look at me just like snoozing on the bench over here.
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah, just boom into my chest. I was like, I don't even fucking care. And then right there, I remember they were yelling at me like 3, 2, and I was like, fuck you. I was like, I'm not losing this one. So we luckily got the last event.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I mean, and it was one of those things of like I just literally just stopped thinking, and I ended up with 10 reps.
Here it is right here.
Oh yeah, so for you guys to follow it on there.
Yeah.
I remember my first rep, I was like trying to kind of figure my hands out, and then after that one, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I was like, we're just gonna swing it. If I fucking lose, I lose. I literally just said that in my mind, and I just
this was literally. I remember being in the back, and I was like, keep that fucking pace.
Yeah.
Because it's just so smooth.
Yeah.
It's so smooth.
Just into the lap. Left, right, up. Yeah.
Again. Runs into your toes. Boom. Done. Like, there's no fucking aggression here. It's all just calculated responsibility.
Exactly. And that's kind of how, like, my brain had taken it. And I was so happy with it.
This is how every last event should be.
If I could end every show,
this is fucking ridiculous. Now that I'm watching back at it, because like I was obviously,
you were there.
I was down to your southeast.
Yeah, right over here.
Yep.
And then I mean, I was ready. I could have loaded that thing a few more times, and he was like, "You're done." And I didn't even know how many reps I did. I just kept going.
Yeah.
Usually, you're kind of like, how many is that? Am I okay? And like, fuck. And like, I just kept going, and then it was over, and I was like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, that was okay, right? And like, they're like, no, you took the lead, and I was like, 6, so 10 reps, and then but I was happy. I did get matched. The kid did match me, but I was happy because it took everything he had to get that last. I mean, he was fucking ready to puke and shake, and I was like, you didn't have one more rep in you.
Nope.
You were done. So
basically I was second to go on this one because I was like, all right, well, I'm in 5th.
Yeah.
But I made a promise to all these guys I was going to make them work.
For sure you did.
I was going to make them fucking, so it was up to me to set the pace. The guy before me got 1.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm getting 5.
Yep.
I'm getting at least 5
for sure
because I've done it before on a different one. Actually, I think I said I was going to get 6. Now, that was also on an actual keg.
And that is true because these guys, they did do a loadable keg.
It was the Mike Bartos keg.
Yeah. Definitely different because I was standing right there, and then I watched him replace the keg, and I was like watching the other athletes go, and I was like, ooh, that thing is a little different.
So when that keg came up, I literally looked at him and was like, Really?
What is this?
Really?
Why are we
This
doing
is
this?
not a keg. This is not a keg.
This is a steel tube.
This is
not
a
a keg.
steel tube with bullshit in it.
Yeah.
Like, why is the outside sticky?
Yeah.
And I remember walking up to you, and I was just like, "We got a baby powder up. It's gonna glide,
Dude.
It's gonna glide."
That was such a good cheat code.
Because I was
so
like,
good.
"We are going to deadlift this
Yeah,
up, right?
yeah.
Let's baby powder everything from the top of our knees all the way down to our toes."
And it was such a good cheat code.
It was great for kegs
For kegs.
because
Because it's slick.
they're slick.
They're slick. But for the fucking Bartos, the
So-
grippy thing.
Yeah, that was not great.
No.
Because I started pulling it, and the first one, literally the first one, I felt take all of the fucking baby powder off.
Yeah, all of it. It was gone.
I was like, okay,
Yeah, it's all in the keg now.
okay, this doesn't matter
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So now it's how much pain can you take?
Exactly. And that's just it. Last event, you're fucking fried.
And I just remember doing that, and I was like, nope, 5 is the number.
Yeah.
5 is the
And
number.
You did do it.
So I did 5, and it was very consistent. I
It
did
was.
pull my wrist on it because here's where I fucked up. I already came into it. My hand was fucking throbbing.
Yeah.
My hand was it was really starting to get swollen at this point. So I was like, I fucking told these guys I was going to make them work.
Yeah.
This is what I have to do. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So I want to watch the video on the fucking big screen, but it's not pulling up right
I
now.
was going to say, I want to see it. 'Cause I haven't seen it.
But I remember fucking getting it up, and this hand could not grip onto it anymore. So I was like trying to hook into it as to where when I grabbed it, it fucking pulled off of my hand and it yanked the fucking dog shit out of this. It was like the left of my wrist, and my wrist is still kind of fucked up still, but let me see if I can pull it up because it's gonna show in the video. After I watched
for
the
sure.
video,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's exactly where that went wrong.
Yep.
But
I mean, either way, it was a super strong performance. Like, you know, and because I was right there. I'll have to see the video if you can hear me because I was right there, screaming at him. But no, he did great. But I did notice it the second those guys started using that fucking keg. I was like, that's a different implement. I was like, that's totally different. That's fatter in the handles. It's a different texture, and you know, you guys. If you haven't competed, you might think that that's, you know, apples to oranges, but it's a big fucking difference. Trust me, it's a very big difference. But yeah, it was a stellar performance. He did 5, no problem, even with these little mistakes with his wrists and shit, and his hand all fucked up.
God damn it, it's not pulling up. I don't know why.
What did it place you in that event?
So,
I know it was good. Like it was either like second or third, because I think the win you did 5, and I think the win was 6, wasn't it?
So I did 5. The win was 6, and it was a 4-way tie for
That's
first.
right. And I mean,
Yeah.
it was a struggle for every single person to get to the last 6th one.
Yep.
Like I remember, like, because I was screaming for you, and then Stuart went, and then CJ went, and everything else. And I mean, everybody was like dying on that 6th rep.
Yeah.
Like back bend, fucking getting ready to break in half.
Everybody was.
Everybody.
Nobody was.
It wasn't like 6, like, oh, okay, we're good, we're done. No,
No.
it was like fucking screaming in your face.
Dude, people
like,
were not fucking doing good with it.
No, they weren't. You could see everybody. The second they start picking that up, like, because this is how you know, too. The second you pick up that hamstrings, your hips, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, they're, you know, and after a special event, like, or like this kind of a day where it's just so hip driven, so fucking just, you know, your thoracic is so fucked from all the events of the day. Keg press, squat. I mean, keg pressing, yokes, and fucking deadlift, and these fucking fingal fingers. Like your back is bent all day long.
Look, this is how many times I've tried to send it to myself.
Oh my god, look at you.
It's just not coming up.
So you guys
Fuck.
keep an eye out. He'll find it and he'll put it up on his Instagram, Trotter the Trainer.
Trotter
But,
Trainer.
yeah, so he ended up doing really well on that. Yeah, it was a huge fucking tie for first, like 4-way through the whole class.
Yeah.
So
It was violent because I remember getting done with the lift, and as soon as I was done, I could feel my shins bleeding, and at that point, I was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Yeah.
So throughout the day, with zeroing 2 events, I still placed 5th out of 6, which,
dude, that's
cool.
I mean, yeah.
Still got more work to put in. So it was one of those things where it was like, okay, it is what it is. I knew that with the cake press not going the way that I thought it was going to go, and with the yoke being super fucking overloaded.
Yeah. I mean, that's still pretty good. Like zeroing 2 events. Like, it's a big deal. Like I zeroed 1 event and I had to fight all fucking day. All day. Like to the teeth. So it's like when you can still 0-2 and not lose, like it's like, what could you do if you didn't?
Well, and the thing is, these fucking guys were not any slouches.
And that's what you have to understand.
You guys that listen to the show are going to know exactly who these top 3 names are.
Yeah.
CJ Kraus, Brian Stewart, and Ethan Atkins.
Yeah.
Ethan goes to the Arnold.
Yep. He's a 90s competitor. Fucking
Kraus is another 90s competitor that it goes to Worlds every year. And Ryan Stewart is Mr. Consistent.
He is the definition of consistent.
He is hands down the fucking sleeper build.
He is such a sleeper. He's that fucking little Honda Civic that pulls up to you and you're like, pfft. And then he's just turboed out and fucking just.
I think it might have fucking pulled up, boy.
Did it?
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, and he is. He is just one of those unbelievable competitors. Let's see.
Yeah. Just got to download it.
All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, that was easy.
Yep.
Yep.
That's where the wrist happened.
I saw it right there.
The wrist fucking twitched.
And
Fucking Sanchez.
I know.
Get out of there, Mark.
Get your big ass out of the way. It's crazy in these videos, like, it doesn't seem that loud, but, like, in person, the amount of voices that are yelling at you and screaming at you.
Yeah, I was just like,
Yeah, you're just like, can we do
everything is not doing great.
There you go.
That was the first time. Yeah, I was like, I'm fucking done.
Like, I'm so over this.
That was the first time I have ever struggled on a last rep.
Yeah.
And
That was a struggle.
I was just like, I'm
you're just so done.
over just today.
Yeah. I'm done with this today.
Give me my weed. Give me my drink.
Exactly.
I want to chill.
We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. And that's how it went. And it was good, though. It was good. So, yeah, it was a good overall comp. And it was a struggle of a day. Fucking bitch of a day.
I bitched at the comp, and I want to put this on air, and I want to put this live because I know that I was very fucking loud about the yoke. I understand that it was not Katie and Justin's fault.
No.
It was still a good competition.
Yep.
And I apologize for anything negative that I may have said because I was pretty fucking aggressive.
And it happens. But I'm the same way after the fucking, the deadlift.
Yeah.
I was the same way, screaming at
Are you fucking kidding me?
I was so mad, and that's Kim. That's Kim. That's my friend and everything else. She's just doing her job. In the heat of the moment, that's why it's like, I'm glad I didn't actually cuss anybody out. I just walked outside, but everybody knew. Everybody knew.
That's where I went with the yoke.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not fucking doing. And I made my point, and I walked the fuck out.
And then you walk out, yeah.
And then I was like, I was stressed the fuck out about it because I was like, I paid $125 for this.
Yeah,
it's a decent amount in today's economy.
Yes, it is.
So after I did that, I was pretty fucking on edge, and I took it out on the last 2 events.
Exactly,
and that is what it is.
And unfortunately, that's just competition, man.
Yep.
It happens.
You win some, you lose some.
You do.
Now, here's where I go from here. Nationals is going to be a different story.
Nationals is, this is going to be.
My coach has got me fucking dialed for this.
Yep.
So everybody who's traveling from anywhere else, get ready to lose.
For real. You just wasted your money.
Waste your fucking money.
Because Built for War is podium owning it.
Yeah.
And whoever happens to be there with us.
Yeah.
And
Colorado just period is taking this show.
yes, we are. We're doing
Colorado.
We're doing
so
it for the hometown.
I don't know who the fuck put on that fucking strongest state or world's strongest state or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. That shit
Was
is,
Colorado even in it?
so
Because I know like CJ and them did Cheyenne or Wyoming or whatever.
technically CJ was supposed to be team captain.
Mm-hmm.
He brought people. This is hearsay, so
yeah,
I'm not exactly
right.
sure how it all went down. This is just from what I heard from other people. CJ was team captain of Colorado, and CJ Kraus because Allen is Wyoming.
Cheyenne and Wyoming, yeah.
So supposedly he was supposed to come up with a team,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of people that he brought in on the team that dropped out due to I want to say OSG or injury.
I was going to say it was close to OSG. I know that.
Yeah.
Because we were talking to CJ Allen at Sunday Paper for it.
Yes.
And we were like, oh. And I remember him kind of talking about it, and I was like, oh, sick. And I got an interest, and I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, I'm fucking busy.
Yeah.
I ain't going to be there. So that's right. I think it was like, it was either the weekend right after. It was super close to Worlds.
Yeah, it was within a month of the World
yeah,
Finals.
so it's
And there was a lot of people that were just not only competing in it, but just going to it.
Yeah.
So I think that's
just a
kind of
bad
what happened.
timing.
That's
Okay.
what makes sense to me.
That would be a fun show though to do like an actual like if they planned it
team.
on a good one. Be like,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna do fucking because from what I heard of it, you have like a heavyweight, you have your lightweights, you have your 90s, you have your whatever, you have the whole class all the way through
Your 80s, 90s ones and
opens. Oh, dude, Colorado fucked that shit up. Let us be team captain
The
next year.
only class that we wouldn't fuck up is the opens.
Yeah, we'd have to. Josh, you'd have to fly out here. You're not from Colorado, but you're born and bred Colorado, so you can be our heavyweight. Because I'll run the 90s, you'll do the 105s, and then
The only thing is that you do have guys like CJ Allen.
that's true. Okay,
That's the only thing because
he is he's like
he showed out on Olympic City.
He's like that Tom Evans right now, though. At any moment, it's just going to take him doing like a bigger show, and he's going to break into the big field.
I've got a feeling
Yeah,
that
so
if
it's
he's able to do the Shaw Classic, that is going to change the direction for him.
Did you see that they're doing a 105 for Shaw Classic? They're doing an online qualifier. I have to look it back. I need to get back on it because I was talking to look it up actually.
Yep.
I was talking to Brandon about because I was like he's like writing my program and he's like, so what are your shows? And I was like, nationals. Zach brought it up. He goes, they're doing a 105 online qualifier for. It would literally be if we qualified. So we'd have to do the qualifiers before OSG Texas. It would be compete in OSG Texas. Come home, deload, and then do the comp the next weekend. They're literally 1 weekend from each other. So if we qualified, I said I was like, let me keep an eye on
Max raw deadlift.
Oh, they put it up. Here we go.
Okay, so max raw deadlift,
Okay.
overhead medley, log lift, and axle press.
Oh, both.
Yep.
Grip and movement.
Power medley will feature a grip and movement.
Okay.
Manhood stones.
Ooh.
Bitch.
So fuck yeah, suckers dumbbell.
Circus dumbbell overhead medley.
Oh, this is for the comp. Where is the actual? See if there's like a qualifier. This is for the. So he's put out the events. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So these are good events. Yes. See if there is a qualifier, because like Kelly, remember he was trying to go for it and stuff. It's an online qualifier, so it'd be something that we'd be prepping for Texas, and at the same time trying to do our online qualifiers for the Shaw Classic.
Oh no, that's 2023.
And there is a 105 fucking class. Because I was like, dude, if I could, whatever the events may be, the only problem with online qualifiers is you're usually super static events. And I'm not I'm working on it, but I'm not the biggest static event guy. But hey, I'll go for it. And if I qualified, I would totally go compete in OSG, come home, deload. It's 3 minutes from my house. I will go fucking compete.
He must have fucking just seen.
Yeah, Zach pulled it up. I'll have to ask him because I haven't talked to him since we got back from Shamrock. But Zach pulled it up on his thing and he was like, and it just said like nothing was
Women's
posted
Day.
yet. But August is coming, dude. So he's got to get that shit up. So maybe we'll keep an eye out on it. We'll find some information. So that might be the road for us because Strongest Man on Earth is the Shaw Classic.
Oh shit, it's my boy.
Oh, Bobby, and that is literally minutes from our house. So I was like, fuck yeah, if I had a chance, and I'll try them because I'll be, and especially if they line up with our events for fucking Texas.
Yep.
It's like, sure, I'll do a couple lifts here and go for some PRs and whatever and try to qualify. And if I do qualify, fuck yeah, I'll go to OSG, do what I'm trying to do for my year, come home, and then deload for the entire week and then go compete fucking 3 minutes from my house. Fuck it, might as well.
Yeah.
Like, whatever,
Yeah, fuck
dude.
yeah.
Just say I competed in the Shaw Classic, like Strongest Man on Earth 105s.
Well,
okay.
I know that Brian or Bobby Thompson
And your boy is going to be there. And then
So
I'll be
how
like, hey,
fucking
Bobby,
cool would it be
I live 3 minutes
for
from you. Let's go
me
have a bonfire
to
in my
compete
house.
with my coach
Dude.
in different weight classes?
Yeah. That would be dope.
That'd be really cool. Might not do it this year.
We're like, guess what?
We are hard dicking OSG this year.
Yeah, and that's the main focus.
Because
so if it comes up.
Because this is what we talked about in our last meeting. Hard dick OSG, go PSL.
Dude, PSL, I would like to. I was talking to Kraus when we were at there next year. Like this year's OSG is a big one. Next year, you have to do a show, and I might look into whatever show that is. But it would be sick to get qualified for like the Chaos. But if not, PSL.
So, Chaos is invite only.
Yeah, it's invite only. You got to do a
But-
show to invite.
You just get invited.
Oh, you just because I remember I asked
They-
him. I was
they
like, "How
watch
the
you.
fuck did you do that?" And he was like, "Well, I did a show, and then they invited me after the fact."
So, Chaos and PSL are both on the same
Oh,
spectrum.
okay. Oh, okay.
So, Bobby's actually a coach, or not a coach. He's a
Yeah, because
judge
he
for
does
PSL.
the PSL. Yeah.
So, what he told me is he was like, reach out to Tyler, who is the
With a P, right? Tyler Pruitt. Pruitt.
Yeah.
Tyler
yeah.
Pruitt.
Yep.
Yep. I can.
He said, reach out to him. All you have to do is just be like, how do I get signed up for
Yeah,
PSL?
for sure.
He'll give you a fucking list, basically. He's
Okay.
going to be like,
I'm gonna hit him.
hey,
Tyler.
he's going to be like, hey,
Yeah.
here's what you have to do.
That's awesome.
Or because even then I was like,
yeah.
my main goal for my strongman career
Yeah.
is number 105
Yeah.
OSG World Finals.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
That's my number one goal. And he was
Yeah.
like, if you can do that, expect a multitude of events after that.
Oh, for sure.
He was like, because if you win that, he was
Oh,
like, that
dude,
is the
you'll-
mecca for weight classes.
you'll be invited to everything. So
He was
I
like,
agree. I agree. Or if you do really good in PSL, that's how you get fucking
yeah.
invited to other
We
things.
talked about USS. We talked about SC. He was like, USS, kind of a dead end.
Yeah.
SC, starting to become a dead end.
And it is.
He was like, because these other places are coming out
These factions.
and you have to qualify for it. If you don't, you're out.
It's true. And I agree. So I think I 100% agree with PSL for next year.
So
And I'll hit up Pruitt because I'll never forget Tyler Pruitt.
from fucking
Denver Rockies
Clash.
Clash. I met him and then we partied over at San Lorenzo's house with Furman and all them. And he goes, I'll never forget it. I was talking to Tyler and he goes, Musick. Love the last name. Too bad there ain't no strength with that last name. Like,
So-
you dick. And he's like, but that would be a cool fucking name if you were winning.
Here's another thing we're gonna have to talk on air about.
Yeah, Furman. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have a conversation about that
Yeah.
because I've learned a few things.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ian, I know him from the clashes. Other than that, I know nothing.
Yeah.
Other than anybody else that watches him on Instagram. You know what I mean?
So there's a reason why he's
And I
kind
had
of,
a
like,
feeling.
scattered.
Yeah, and I have a feeling it's funny that, the Clash was building up to be one of the biggest shows in the world, and then all of a sudden it's just gone, and now PSL is in the world.
Yep.
So I'm sure there's that's another podcast. So don't worry, we'll get into that.
That is not another podcast.
Oh, okay.
That's fucking for you guys to get to this level and find out.
Exactly. So yeah, that's true. That is true, right? Yeah, we're not gonna put that on the air.
We're not gonna air out dirty.
We're not
laundry.
gonna. No, that's just something in the conversation.
But he's best friend, godfather of my child.
Exactly.
I share everything with him,
that's right.
including We're not going to get into that.
We're not going to get into it. But so that was the Shamrock Showdown 4.
Yeah.
So for both of us, we are in training now, and it is June 8th, Denver, Colorado. If you guys are in the area, USS at the Denver Stock Show, which is the Denver Coliseum, basically, I-25, I-70, June 8th. It will be happening. It's going to be a big show. It's going to be sick. A lot of vendors, and you boys will be out there fucking shit up. So if you guys are in the area, but again, we'll be talking more and more about this as it's leading up. But as of right now, that is what we're prepping for.
Also, if any of you athletes are coming out here that are listening to the show that want to be on the podcast, that is your fucking time to do it.
That is your time.
If we have to set up Friday for nothing but fucking podcasting,
sick.
So be it.
Exactly. So
we'll do everybody an hour at a time. So if you guys are listening that are out of state and you guys want to be on the podcast, fucking hit us up.
For sure. DM us, let us know, and we would love to talk to you guys and everything else. And you could be right here in the studio.
In the studio.
The real life. So keep an eye out for that. And as always, thank you. Keep subscribing. Keep listening. Keep liking, subscribe, comment, all those great things.
Yep.
And we will talk to you guys next time.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye.